Motu Origins Cartoon Collection and Turtles of Grayskull pre-order season is kicked off with overseas online retailers releasing the first wave of official images, plus more vac metal Silverhawks are on the way right now on Toy Habits Live.
And before we go live, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits. I'm Michael.
And I'm the Toy Sorceress, and you're watching Toy Habits Live. What's going on, Michael? How are you doing?
I am great. Work week is over, and boy, what a week it was for Motu news. It was honestly insane. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. My work week was super busy because my boss was on vacation, but I got great news that I got my promotion this week. So that I worked hard for, and it was 3 months in the making that I had to apply and beat out 20 other people. But it's great news. It might make me a little bit more busy during the day, so you may see a little lag in news stories going out. But it's good. It's a good thing.
Well, that's awesome. Chat wish the Toy Sorceress a very happy congratulations on her promo. That's amazing news. So excited for you and so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I worked super hard to get there. So I'm just shocked they picked me because I had to apply for it. It was crazy. It's like competition time. What's that, Hunger Games or something?
Oh my gosh, seriously. But no, I know how hard you work on the site, and if you work as hard as you do on the site as you do for your day job, yeah, you totally have earned that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We have a really exciting show for everyone. And this morning we got amazing news, and I'm in a great mood because guess what? I have a 4-day weekend. I had the day off today. I took a soak. I went to the pool this afternoon. So I'm in a great mood. I'm relaxed. And we have a bunch of really awesome people here. Yes. Thank you so much, Baroness of Toys. You are awesome. Toys CEOers. You guys are so
lots of love in the chat.
So awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Everyone's so friendly. So while we're looking at the comments, why don't we go ahead and check in on the chat? And then also, by the way, you had an amazing show on Monday with It's Chad on that Motu crossover. I couldn't join you because, again, work was crazy. My boss was out. Thank you for having Chad fill in. I popped in to say hello. It looks like you guys are having a great time.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, Chad's awesome. If you haven't checked out It's Chad, he dropped some really amazing news that he let us amplify. So there's a Titan class Transformers G.I. Joe crossover coming. So
yes,
hold your butts. Hold on to your butts.
That is amazing. And that means more O-ring figures to go with it, right? Yes, because they need pilots or drivers. Whatever.
Yeah, they usually do that, but it's
we'll see. We'll see, but it's exciting nonetheless. It is super exciting. So let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. We got crew member Frankie Rivera here. Oh yeah, happy Friday, Frankie, to you too. We got Dwight in the house. Crew member Damian Ristori is here. We got All Music Fan, and checking in here is our amazing crew member Joe Coleman. It is Toy Habits time, people. Good to see you, Joe. And rounding up from Joe is our very own crew member Neil Hunter Hyde. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. We got Riz 1082 in the house. Crew member Carnage 717. A big hello again to crew member friend of the channel, the one and only Baroness of Toys. Hello, Toy Habits peeps. Long time no see. Good to see you, Baroness. We have All Music Fan 88 in the house. We got crew member Ryan Cole. Good to see you. We have a friend of yours, friend of the channel. It is one and only Toy Hunters Hollow. Good to see you. And we have our one and only crew member, one of the OGs. It is Clint Jorgensen. Good to see there be Toys. One of our original crew members. Also, it's Robert Alessandrini. We got Dave Schnelly in the house. Crew member D. Griff is also here. Kevin Florence is here. Helder Santos is here. One and only crew member Giraffe, who is always a crack up. in our Discord. Good to see you, Giraffe. We have Rob 2023, and Rob, say hi to Mom for us. Rob's mom is awesome. We got Jason Fitz here. We have Timbo from Limbo. And by the way, Timbo from Limbo, you got us some Silverhawks, which we're going to talk about coming from the galaxy of Limbo. Nice. Helter Santos is here. I think I probably already said hi to you. Aaron is in the house. Good to see you, Aaron. We got Vane21, Ryan Federico, and a big hello and shout out to Daniel Huron for being a member for 17 months. 17 months. I can't believe it. Again, another one of our original crew members. Daniel says, Zorana has a nice She-Ra cosplay outfit she wears on special occasions. We don't want to know what that is, Daniel.
Very apropos for the discussion.
On our U83 is also here. Everlost is here. And the one and only Ryan Cole, again, being ever so great, generous, and we are so grateful, has gifted 5 Toy Habits memberships. So 5 of you in the chat are going to be randomly selected and are going to get Toy Habits memberships for 1 month. Ryan, you are so generous. Thank you so much. Turtles Toy Box is also here. J Solo Arts is joining us. I think we got one more person, David Mahoney. Good to see you as well. Hello to everyone. I wanted to make sure, we're so grateful for all of you who join us in the chat. And, I do take that extra time to say hello to everyone because I think it's special. You deserve a shout out. Shout out to Lab Rat, which is also a Toy Habits crew member, because we do this for you guys and we really appreciate the support. And it's fun to see your name up on the screen. It gets you excited and into the show. So with that, we're going to dive into the news. But before we do that, let's go ahead and say hi to our ever-growing Toy Habits crew.
Yes. Thank you so much for the support. And there's so many wonderful crew members represented in the chat. And again, we totally can't do this without you. And we do this with you. It's so much fun to do this each week. And oh my gosh, Toy Sorceress, in the immortal words of Mega J, holy crap, what happened this week with all the Motu news?
Whoa, it was like a desert, and now we're having a flood, right? News has dried up the last couple of weeks, and we were like, oh, what's going on? We heard crickets. Hello to Jason Fitz, by the way, who snuck in at the end. Incredible Motu news. We got a bunch of card art reveals. We got some pre-orders popping up on kind of smaller retailer websites from around the globe. And we got a look at freaking Triclops. Triclops was one of the first cartoon collection figures that we had in that series of leaks that we put out back earlier in the year, but we didn't get to see him at SDCC. And I was like, "We're WTF? Where the heck is Triclops?" There he is, and he looks great. What do you think,
he does
Michael?
look. Oh my gosh, Triclops does look great. I think they nailed his whole character design, which is awesome. And you're right. In the Filmation cartoon, he doesn't have any color in his eyes. So there we go. Wanted to flash this up from Rob 2023. No offense to Chad, but Mom said she missed the Toy Sorceress. Yes.
Aww. Rob, please say hi to Mom. She's so sweet.
Mama Rob 2023. Dave Mahoney. So the Motu plastic bubble cases, they are from I think they're Zolo cases. So I think if you just look up Zolo cases, you can find out where to get those. But oh my gosh, So this is typically how it goes. Usually the overseas online retailers, and it's the whole shebang, small tiny toy store. And today found out the Funky Toy Junkie has also put up some pre-orders too. They're usually first for the pre-order, and then the US retailers will follow at some point. So we don't know when. We know that one online retailer is usually first in the US. So we have to
we
look
won't
forward
name names. But I did pick up one of these. Oh my god, I just knocked over my microphone.
Knocked over
from said retailer, which will remain nameless.
Love it. Love it. Oh yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to Jason Tran. He went across the street to the Mattel store and actually found that for me today. So like,
oh, that's wonderful! I'm so glad. I'm happy for you. I haven't opened them yet. You're gonna love him. He's got like a shiny red metallic finish. It's pretty cool, like his plastic. Baroness of Toys says, "Hi, Rob's mom." Aw. We're adopting Rob's mom. She's
totally. Yes.
To the show.
Can we be your what? I don't know how many kids you have, Rob's mom, but can we be your extra kids, please?
There you go. Your online kids.
Ryan Cole, I'm excited for She-Ra figures, but in my opinion, all of the Pop figures should be considered vintage line. I guess Mattel disagrees. Don't know. I'm not sure what goes on with all that, them not being vintage, but we're getting figures, so I'm happy.
So I have a point to make with that.
Okay.
Which I would absolutely agree that we need vintage forms of the Pop figures. All in on that. But what did Mattel promise us a year or two ago? First, when it comes to the vintage figures, they promised they were going to finish out the entire original line, which they're working on, right? And we get a couple kind of new ones here and there from Mattel Creations. So I think they want to make sure that we get those figures first. They'll probably intermittently, put in a new figure here or there, but we got to make sure we get the whole line first. So they're concentrating on these amazing cartoon collection figures in the meantime. And I'm sure once we get through all of the original vintage figures, they'll probably start concentrating on Pop, right? So we'll get there. We'll absolutely get there. I don't see this line slowing down anytime in the near future.
No, there's a lot of figures and a lot of ideas that are coming down the pipeline to feed the line, and it's like the vintage line is going to have a slow burn. So we're going to have there's a lot of great stuff coming out, which everybody will be happy about. Oh my gosh.
No one in Eternia misses leg day except Mantenna. Well, he's supposed to have skinny legs.
All right, so I wanted to have a discussion about these official images on the white backgrounds. We've talked about them before, and I don't know, they to me they set the wrong expectation for these figures. Like, if this is the first time somebody is seeing She-Ra like this, it kind of looks like they just threw a Tila head on her and put a She-Ra hairpiece on her. Looks very different than the SDCC figure that we saw live.
I'm gonna look at it now. Yeah, absolutely. But if you recall, the SDCC version of her, it was more shiny metallic, and I'm thinking that the one that we're looking at is a digital render, and so that's why the colors on like the boots and the arm bracers look more like kind of like solid. They don't have that metallic sheen to it because they can't reproduce that in like a digital render. It sort of looks like a render to me, and that might be why some of the differences, and also why the facial features look less defined, right? Because it's sort of like a 3D model. That might be the answer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. I go back and forth looking at these shots because at some points I think a digital render, but then I'm like, there's shadows in these figures. Like her hair, is putting a shadow on her shoulder. I don't remember the G.I. Joe Classified series renders having shadows like that. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, chat, what do you think? Are these renders or are these actual figures? Because maybe they just had to throw something really quickly together. But these are often the first images we see of figures. It's these images on the white background, and sometimes they look very different than what we're getting, or slightly different.
And this also could be an early test shot, and then maybe what they had at SDCC was more of a production piece. That could be one of the answers. Or when they do digital renders, it is a physical not physical, but what I'm saying, it's a 3D object within the digital render, and so that does cast light and shade because it's got like an actual property to it in terms of like thickness of stuff. So that could be casting the shadow on here. The hair, it's all molded in 3 dimensions on the render. So that might be part of it, or this is an early production test shot.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, I think you're right. Yeah, I think if you with 3D technology too, I think that has the ability to cast shadows like they do with like cartoon, like animation and stuff like that too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm here to bring sense into the conversation.
No, I love it. But like, what? So my question is, why do they even bother with these? I guess the same could be said for the G.I. Joe Classified series. Like, but there's a pretty spot on. Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time, except for like Falcon when we had that poor face sculpt that came on him.
They're cool to see nonetheless.
Nonetheless. So this one on Ram Man, I had a little bit of trouble with because the colors seem a little bit off, but I'm thinking it might be because of the lighting or the one that we took a picture of at SDCC was under all of the big glitz and glam lights of the booth, and that could have maybe had a little bit of a yellow tinge, because if you look at the test shot and render, he has more of a darker skin tone, more tan, more brown looking, rather than the more yellow tone that we saw at SDCC. But what also is throwing me off is his actual face sculpt, because the one we saw at SDCC looks squattier, and then the one that we're looking at on the test render is like a little bit more elongated, especially you can tell around like the under the nose and where the chin area is, and that might be due to maybe it's like the angle we're looking at and there's less defined detail. And it's hard to tell.
I'm kind of torn, because I do like seeing the figures, but then it makes me wonder what the actual thing's going to look like, especially seeing the live prototypes. And these were prototypes. I think when we get to Manny faces, you'll see one of his arm gauntlets wasn't even on. But Mantana looks, I mean, besides the colors and stuff, and it could be lighting, Mantana looks really, really good. And I think actually this is selling me on digital render, because there's really, if you can see Mantana's face, there's kind of a mouth line on him, and there's none on here. So maybe you're right.
And it also looks slightly like the color and stuff around his head looks a little like pixelated. And it's selling me more on it being a digital render. And the funny thing is with Mantana, we couldn't really see the back of the figure, but I don't think that there's a pop out like action feature or anything like that. But it looks like they might be able to come out of the socket because there's space around them.
There is a pop out eye feature when we looked at the card art today. I don't know if you got a chance.
Okay, great.
That is, they did put
that. Thank you.
No, it's fine. You got a busy day today, so
wonderful.
Yes, no, that's fantastic news that there's a pop out function. It's funny because he doesn't come back with an artifact from the Filmation cartoon. He has that action feature, so that's his artifact, I guess.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then one difference I do want to point out here, which I'm looking at right now, is the one at SDCC has a purple neck.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hopefully they catch that, and it doesn't go into production that way.
Yes.
So if anyone at Mattel is watching, please make sure that you get the right color for Mantana's neck.
It's so funny, like the little details that either get missed when they're doing these SDCC promos or things like that.
But he looks great. Like I really love how he came out. I love his like little hand gestures, like the way his hands are, because it gives him a little bit more character. It makes it look more like spazzy, because you know how he's kind of like always, on the cartoon. So they nailed it. Like they really nailed it with the design on him, from his grabbing hands to the look on his face. They did a great job.
Yeah, it's classic Mantana. Question from Everlost: do you think that they'll use Mantana's upper torso and arms for Lizard Man since he is slim? Allison Troy is in the chat, also weigh in on that. But what do you think?
Absolutely. Why not use it? I mean, the cartoon collection is famous for reusing most of the bucks. If you look at 99% of the figures, they all have the same like legs, arms, and torsos, and then they've changed out the boot parts and added other chest piece, armors and things like that. But from the majority, most of the figures have like the same basic body. So if they made a slimmer one, of course they're going to reuse it.
Yeah,
that'd be a perfect character to do it with.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And actually, if they're making new parts, like it's what 100% guaranteed that they're going to find a use for something, right? Because they can't just they can't leave money on the table like that.
Oh no, not at all. And that just opens the door for a lot more characters from the Filmation cartoon, because then now we have a different buck. Instead of a chunky buck, we have a skinny buck, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I like the word chunky.
we need
Mantena to like go race.
Slim and chunky.
Allison makes a good point. Also a 2000 X Prince Adam. So yeah, he was a very slimmed down version.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, to Manny faces, and yeah, it's funny. So here, they didn't put on his second gauntlet unless his wrist is turned, and maybe it's underneath it. Maybe you can't see it, but anyway, like he looks really good. And this is the first time we've seen his human face. The only face that we haven't seen is his robot face, which we know what.
And I can't wait to see what that looks like. I do think he has his gauntlet. It's like under it probably turned around and it's under his elbow. But he's looking really good. I mean, they simplified all of his body parts again to make him look more animated, and they did a really great job. And I love the bright colors, the bright pink and the bright green on his facial features. And I'm wondering how his head's gonna turn right inside there, because you don't see the little button on top. And so is it going to be like, turn it with your thumb, like his actual face? Is there a button or a dial behind his head?
Maybe on the
or
top.
Or does just the whole thing turn? But you wouldn't do that because his head is just the single cylinder and with the one opening. So
maybe it's this top piece here that you can just grab with your finger.
Yeah, because it's got that little, you see the little line around it. So it might be that part, but it looks like it might be a little bit harder to grip. I don't know. We'll see.
Neil Hunter, hi. Did I read that Manny Face's helmet will be removable? I don't know, but I don't see why not.
Yeah, and that could be how you turn his head. Maybe you take the helmet off and then just turn the faces.
Yeah. All Music fan, I hope they give him extra heads. That would be fun. Like the
the classics, right?
Yeah, the classics and also the new Eternia version too.
Oh yeah. Both of them had really amazing faces. So
what is up, Aaron? Just giving a big shout out to Mr. Aaron for being such a huge friend of the channel. I don't think either of the many faces that we got so far were quite right. I think this one nailed it. That's great.
Yeah. They've been actually hitting it out of the park with these cartoon collection figures. Yeah, I just picked up Clawful and Spikor, and they look so great. They really do.
Want to give a huge shout out to the Texas Toy Addict who just sneaked in here. He says, "Hey guys, what is up, Mr. Dan? Good to see you."
Good to see you, Dan.
All right, Texas. We're on to Hordak, and here I guess with the render you don't get to see as much face definition as you do with a fully sculpted piece. So
yeah, and again that gives me another reason to think that these are digital renders, because there's a lot of detail in the face that's missing on the one with the white background. Right, because these got like a ton of sculpted detail like under his eyes, here on his cheekbones, and within his mouth, and even on his chin. He's got that little extra line right there that you don't really see, or it gets lost in this digital render, maybe because it's so white, and the lighting it might be as well. And then there's a little bit more detail like on the back that gets a little lost, and some of the bone, trim around his chest armor and his head.
That makes sense. All Music fan loves this Hordak, but disappointed I don't see an arm cannon We didn't see one at SDCC. Is this a like something they're going to sneak in here, or are they just going to leave him as is and have his artifact accessory packed in with him?
It could be. With the cartoon collection figures, they've been going a little bit more simplistic. So maybe they just weren't going to give him his arm cannon. It's it's a little bit of a bummer, but
yeah, this would be the place.
We have that one with the power conversion, right?
Yeah.
So
this would be the place to do it. Do an arm cannon, right, for the cartoon collection.
Yeah, I've got the blue one back there. So it does differentiate him, because if you do have the power conversion, he's got his arm cannon on his arm, and you can always maybe just swap that piece.
Yeah.
He's stuck to my Mantisaurus. Okay.
So bring your Mantisaur over too.
Not everybody over.
There's room for everybody. And I guess with all of the part swapability too, you can throw the arm cannon on.
Yeah. So Hordak has the arm cannon on it. If you happen to have the power conversion, it's the bright blue. So I don't know if it's going to be the exact same blue, but you can definitely just pop it off of there and then use it on your cartoon collection version. So there you go. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Neil Hunter Hyde, the Mattel rep, said that they look forward to doing an arm cannon on a future Hordak, and then a Turtles of Grayskull Hordak was revealed to have an arm cannon. Interesting. All right. Maybe we'll see him. Yeah, again, with part swappability. I know it's going to be a different color, but hey.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. That's what makes these Motu Origins figures fun. And then, this came literally out of nowhere. Render of Triclops.
Yeah, he looks great. It's funny because his eyes like looking up, like he's like annoyed at Skeletor, like Skeletor, not again, like he's rolling his eye at him. So I'm hoping one of the other eyes, when you turn his head, is like more centered, so he can have a different expression, right? Because if not, he's just gonna constantly like look annoyed.
Yeah, and this, so it's funny, Damien DM'd me on Instagram with the same comment for Triclops, extra dark green armor, please. Like, they keep going with this lighter green armor, and so in the Filmation cartoon, a lot of times he does appear with a darker green armor.
Yeah, but with the cartoon collection, if you take a look at the figures, they've gone with bright colors. So I think this is just how he's gonna appear. Timbo from Limbo says he had a Manosaur, but sadly my only figure with Mantenna, and because of the weird legs, he didn't fit on the saddle. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yes. Clint, he's definitely looks ready to thumb wrestle the way that they've posed him. So
absolutely. And what does he come with, Michael? By the way, what is his?
Geez, I cut this off in the picture, but he does come with the rock softener, which nailed.
I nailed. Okay, so funny story. When we were leaking these, the fun thing we did was to guess what accessory the leaked figure was going to come with, and so Michael took Spikor. We like divvied up the list, right? So you got Spikor, and I forget what else. And I'm like, oh, I'll do Triclops because he's one of my favorite characters. Spikor had like 3 episodes that he was in, so you easily picked like those balls, and it was like so easy. And then when I got to Triclops, he had like 30 episodes. I don't know, it's just some huge number, right? Because he was always in it. So I had to comb through like all these Filmation episodes, which was fun, but took a long time. And then I nailed it. I'm like, he's absolutely has to come with the rock softener, and there you go. So it just feels like good validation that I got it right.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Cause that took a lot of research on your part, because the one thing with Skeletor's henchmen, they're in a shit ton of episodes.
Especially Triclops. I was surprised.
Like, gosh darn it.
I got the short end of the stick on that one, but it was fun.
I know. I think I had like Webstore and Spikor. It's like they were in like 2 or 3 episodes. I was like, sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was very cool to see him, and it's interesting because all of these cartoon collection figures, they've been released and put up for pre-order, but also we're going to get to She-Ra and Mantenna's card art soon, but it looks like they are doing 3-figure waves moving forward for the cartoon collection, which is amazing because they've had a 2-figure release with the 2 fan favorites, but it sounds like they have a lot more figures in the pipeline. And so to do these 3-figure releases, so that's actually really great news.
Yeah, I actually, I'm super happy to see that. And it's funny, I'm just circling back to All Music Fans comment here, because as he mentions, cousin Jeremy was the one who stole the rock softener in the first place, and that was Prince Adam's very mischievous cousin. But putting a pin in Mantenna's thin torso body, they could do a cousin Jeremy with that too. Right?
Good. I love that.
Adam needs somebody to push around.
Totally. Yeah. Could you imagine like them making like those offshoot characters too? Like Chef Allen. Come on, we need Chef Allen. We need yes, totally need that guy.
Yeah. And Hordak better keep away from Triclops's rocket softener. Don't want his rocket to get soft.
Oh no! Oh boy! That totally went over my head the first time that I read it, but now I get it.
I flashed it on the screen, but I had to read it out loud because Giraffe, you are just way too funny. And if Silver K were here, she'd be all over that.
Oh yeah, definitely would. But I'm excited. Yeah. So with the reveal of the She-Ra and Mantenna card art, we do see the Wave 21. So that was still a mystery because they had all these cartoon figures, and we like to kind of figure out which ones go together. Now, the ones that are up in the air are Hordak, Triclops, Many-Faces, and Catra. Voltak is spec'd out to be a Mattel Creations exclusive, so we don't have to worry about him. So I was thinking, like, what would make a really good like pairing, of 3 figures for a wave out of these 4?
That's a really great question. I think they would probably want to go with 2 baddies and a good guy, because they did the opposite in this previous wave. So I think we would probably see Catra and Hordak, because they were already at SDCC, with Many-Faces, and probably Triclops will come after, because we did not see him on display. So I'm sure his production figure isn't ready yet. But Nunyabiz says that not sure how he feels about 3 figures on a card back. It's worrisome. I wouldn't worry too much, because don't forget, these are the cartoon collection figures. And if they're going to release 4 figures per, using air quotes, wave, that gives them room to release a vintage style Motu Origins figure, maybe through Mattel Creations per wave. So that's your 4th figure right there. They've got the dollars that they have to hit at each quarter, so I don't think that they'll miss out on 4 figures per wave.
Yeah, and maybe they're reducing the fan favorites to 1 figure, so there's also that wild card too, right?
That too.
But the WWE Superstars line did this, so they had a 4-figure wave, and then they reduced it down to 3 figures, but then they also included a repaint Chase figure, which I don't think they're going to be doing for the cartoon collection. But
what I was going to say is, I think they're starting to run short on the fan favorite figures, so they had to slow down.
I think so.
And now
interesting. So I totally agree with you that they should put Hordak, Catra, and Many-Faces together in a wave. The only thing that makes me question that, and that's what I had thought up until like a half an hour before the stream. I did see that Funky Toy Junkie put up basically a batch of 3 figures. Catra is missing, and it has Triclops, Many-Faces, and Hordak. This does not mean that this is going to be the wave, but I just found it interesting that they're pairing these 3 figures together, and like, where the heck does Catra fall in the line then?
And that's a good question, because it looks like they all have the same release date on there. So that's probably the wave right there. So the end of April in 2025, which I would be fine with, because I absolutely love Triclops and can't wait to get him. So I'd be happy if he comes first. That'd be awesome.
Ooh.
And he's a real easy repaint figure to make, because essentially we have all his parts. It's just the chest armor and a new head and his accessory. Like everything else is simple, like He-Man pieces.
Yes.
And here's the thing that I want to mention though. In this picture of Triclops, take a look at his belt. It's got the extra detail in it.
You're right.
And it does in the previous. So they're using the original Origins loin piece or waist piece.
You're right.
And not the simplified belt one. But it's fine because even Too Bad had the extra detail on his belt. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I want to call out Nuno Biz's comment, really astute one, referring to Catra. I bet she'll get a 2-pack release like Adam, maybe with more heads, because she does come with that big cat figure, and I don't actually see that fitting in a normal blister. Do you?
No, I don't think it will. So that might be, she might be a deluxe. I would love to maybe sometime see Catra with Claudine.
Yeah. Oh,
how cool would that be?
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. You have a vintage Claudine, don't you?
I'm staring at it right now. I can grab it if you want. It's right here. But it just inspired me because that would be such a cool release, because we have like the buck for Cringer, so they can turn that into a Claudine with a different head and maybe rooted hair or sculpted hair, which would be amazing.
Yeah. Boy, that would be awesome. I would love to see a Catra 2-pack. That was a very very keen eye, Mr. Nuno Biz. And yes, Miss Allison Troy, Catra does come with her cat form. So yes, what else would she come with is the question to make that a worthwhile deluxe pack. All right, so
absolutely.
Speaking of the proliferation of cartoon collection figures, there were some confirmation of some leaks that happened back in SDCC. So this small tiny toy store is doing some mighty work, and they're putting up pre-orders for leaks that kind of came out during Comic-Con that kind of got buried with the Comic-Con news. And so I think this is also further evidence that they're of that 3-figure wave. It's just they're making a lot more figures. Plus they still have the the regular Masters of the Universe figures, plus the She-Ra figures to do.
Absolutely. But the one thing that catches my eye, and I don't even have my glasses on, Catra is the same price point as Leech and
you're right. You're right.
Not priced at a deluxe price point. That's true. Maybe they might have to do some kind of modification on her packaging. I don't know, because she has that giant cat behind her, but she costs the same money, so it's not going to be a deluxe figure. It's not considered a deluxe figure.
That is very true. Like putting 2 and 2 together. staring us right in the face.
I'm trying to get clues from like wherever we can get them, right? Because that's the way we figure out our information. But I mean, this is really cool. And Frosta, that's a new one, right? And they can make her easily with the parts they have.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Frosta's new. Leech is new. The only one that is interesting is the Invisible Skeletor. And it doesn't call it out as a cartoon collection figure, but maybe that's a mistake. But I don't see them making an Invisible Skeletor figure on a regular Masters of the Universe Origins card. Like, I just don't see that because he wasn't part of the vintage line.
No, it's probably going to be some kind of special figure. But the thing is, the price point's the same also. So, good question. I don't know. Timbo from Limbo says that he fears that the cat form will be small and not articulated. Well, we already did see it at SDCC, and it was small and it was not articulated. So Timbo, sorry, like wah wah.
Your fears have
That's exactly what it was. But it was cool that she came with it, right? I mean, it was a neat accessory for her to come packaged with.
Peter Lane. So they're releasing a blue Faker in the cartoon collection. No, these are the fan favorite reissues that are spec'd out for the future. So Buzz Off, which people are saying like they can still find Buzz Off in stores. And so like, why are they releasing him as a fan favorite? I don't know. I don't see him around my store at all, but definitely Faker would be a great one to see back.
Faker would be a great one. And, you know, it's funny because I just came across an Orko and for a fan favorite, but he was also released in that re-release of Wave 2 for the 40th anniversary. So it's funny that they picked him for also a fan favorite release, just changing that little corner of the card back.
Yes. Yeah, so great stuff from the cartoon collection coming down the line. And I think this I want to go into some Turtles of Grayskull news, if that is cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So in addition to the stuff that we saw at SDCC, all of those cartoon collection figures going up for pre-order. Again, the Small Tiny Toy Store has also put up the Turtles of Grayskull Wave 5 for pre-order. And this is, again, following suit with retailers overseas. We'll probably see these maybe in the next month or so come to the US for pre-order. But super exciting nonetheless. And this puts a bow and a nice wrapper around our early information for the Turtles of Grayskull Wave 5, because we were like, what the heck is Mechanic and Ratlore doing in the Turtles of Grayskull? And here they are.
And there they are. And I hope they get the engineering worked out on that Ratlore. I mean, he looked really cool, but he kept, even in his photos there, he kept falling over, the poor guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, again, you know, and again, like I still go back and forth. Like, if these are renders, these are so freaking good. And maybe this explains why some of these things look more translucent than they do in person, because you can't represent that in real life. I don't know.
You know how I know that that's a render? Because he's actually standing up.
Oh my gosh. That's true.
He's like standing up with ease. Yeah. What do you know?
I love it. I love it. Oh my God. Yeah, because if they did, he wouldn't be standing like that at all.
I mean, your regular Rattler figure, I don't know about you, but like, because of the little tail, the rubber tail that's sitting in the back, it's hard to like get him to stand in the first place. The regular Rattler figure, this thing had like a mega long head and, you know, just so unbalanced that, that's got to be a render.
Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of love for Ratlore in the chat, and this is going to be like, this wave is awesome, minus the variants of you know, the other two turtles, like Mechanic and Ratlore are my faves. So like, again, and they released digital renders of these figures.
I like Nunya's comment that Rattler head can double for a stretch neck head. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
You're totally right. But look at the detail. I mean, the sculpting on this thing, it's incredible. Like, there's so much like sculpted detail in his entire body, head to toe.
Yes. And I mean, it looks, it also too, looking at the SDCC picture, it looks like those like translucent pink parts that are kind of coming under him can come off too, possibly.
Yeah,
they do the mutated forms really, really well.
I mean, maybe it helps that they have an injection of funds from Playmates.
Oh yeah,
that extra. Go that extra mile on these.
That's a good point, because they're actually like making molds for future figures that they could make, and like maybe, you know, Playmates has nothing to do with some of the original Motu characters that they might be thinking about.
Yeah,
so,
but they're still using, you know, their partnership money, I guess.
Yeah, I'd believe it. I mean, these sculpts are outstanding. I mean,
they're all of them. They've just been knocking them out of the park.
Yeah.
My favorite, which was Ninjor, was not on this wave, but
no,
the dragon version of him, he looked amazing. Just absolutely amazing. I can't wait for him.
Yeah. And then, you know, we get the variants of Donatello and also Raphael, which Raphael looks, I like the snake armor look on Raphael.
It fits him well. It really does. He looks very cool with that.
Yeah, all of those look cool. But speaking of, let's see, where do I have Ninjor coming? Oh my gosh, so here's the Ninjor. So
Wave 6.
I'm on. So again, I'm looking on Small Tiny Toy Store again, and like I see all of these new listings, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And so I just started reading, and I'm like, Clamp Champ Ninja, and I'm like, wait, they've put Wave 6 up for pre-order already, and I don't know if this is too early for them, but they're on pre-order anyway. But here's the Ninja that is going to be freaking cool.
Oh my god, I know. And was he the same price point as the rest of the figures?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yep.
He was. Okay. Well, that's good. So he's not like considered a deluxe exclusive or anything?
No,
that's amazing.
No. Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, I think the King Hiss and the Shredder were spec'd out as exclusives, but no, Ninja was not, which is great.
That's great, considering it looked like he just had so much going on with him that it could have been.
Oh, Black Phoenix making fun of the Small Tiny Toy Store.
It's a tiny toy store, not tiny anything else.
I love it. But, oh my gosh, yeah. So this is a website in Germany. So I don't think anyone in the U.S. in their right mind would order from them. So just be patient, and the pre-orders will come.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're coming.
Yes, they got to put out everybody's got to put out Wave 5. I don't know why they're doing this pre-order so early, but maybe I don't know if it's Hunger Games in the kind of smaller online retailers, and you just have to be first.
Yeah. They're trying to capture as many sales as they can get, and the earlier they put out the pre-orders, the more sales they'll get because people will have ordered it from them first, and then there you go.
Yes. Question from Timbo from Limbo, and I'm actually going to have you field this one. Would you consider this a mashup of Ninja and Hothead? I forget what Hothead looks like.
I don't remember what Hothead looks like either, but yeah, absolutely, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's what it could be.
TMNT.
if Hothead was a dragon, then my answer is yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just did a quick
Google search.
So, great. Oh my gosh, this totally could be right.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. You're right. You know what? I totally forgot. This is a very rare TMNT figure, and that's actually exactly what they got it from.
That's cool.
That was great. There you go.
Yeah. The chat
great
is
call, Timbo.
Awesome. Oh, totally. Okay, now I lost my place. Okay, no, here we go. We're back. Let's see. Oh, Ninja is a stretch. Has an insignia of a dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. But he still looks really cool.
He does look cool. It's funny, Dan, how weird these actually made it this far. They're super popular, and I guess this proves it with all of these waves, these waves 4 and 5 coming out, because there's basically no information beyond the early stuff that we got, and up until that point we were like, is this thing even continuing, or is this going to stop it at 4 waves? But they're going down a whole new storyline with the reptile war, so it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Michael Blueblade brings up a good point. Is it Hothead or Drago Man? But having this dragon now opens the door for a Drago Man in Origins. How cool would that be?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Yes, they need to start making some of the cooler classics figures into Motu Origins, and this is the way to do it right here.
That is awesome. And I know the Baroness has a really nice vintage Hothead.
She does?
Yeah, she does. And is that one that you picked up from Big Lou's? I think you got that for a song.
Big Lou.
I'm not mistaken. She's like, oh, look at this figure. I missed out.
Oh no.
It's awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, I think this line's just gonna keep going for quite a while. Yeah. It doesn't look like it's gonna stop, but I'm just looking forward to what they're gonna do with the Thundercats lines.
Yes. Yeah, we need to see some renders and some progress on that one. So I don't know how far the team is, but release something. If it's a tease, a sketch, whatever, just something to hold us over.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is something we're going to talk on the lines of, future crossovers probably on next week's episode, given if there isn't some other super seeming news. But I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be so cool. Miss Allison Troy, they need to do every figure that was in the classics and origin scale, which will make Origins the best Motu toy line ever with the most characters ever. Yes, that would definitely outshine and beat out the classics line for sure.
Princess of Turtle Power. I can't imagine like all of the, I mean, they did April O'Neil. She turned out great as a sorceress, by the way. I really love how she looks. That is awesome. So Baroness, oh yeah, you got the hot head at the Geek Out toy show. Okay, that's where it was. I think we were at the same booth, and you're like, oh, look at this cool figure. It is a really cool cannon. Now I gotta pick one up somewhere.
Totally. Toy Monkey Customs, great segue. I was a bit late. Did you guys already talk about the She-Ra card art teases? No.
Not yet.
Good segue.
And on that note, thank you, Toy Monkey Customs.
Yes. Amazing reveal of She-Ra, but also the 40th anniversary card design for the card front. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, first of all, the fact that they changed the card back for the She-Ra cartoon collection to kind of that more ominous red sky with the Hordak on the top of the card back looks incredible. Did you notice Hordak's face up there?
Yes.
Yes. It looks great. I'm surprised that it didn't make it look more Princess of Power-y looking, but again, we know that this is part of the cartoon collection, but it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I love Hordak hovering over Castle Grayskull. Yeah, and I think I do get why they didn't make it very Princess of Power-y, because this is not an ode to the vintage line, right? And so they can kind of, they have the creative license to kind of do whatever, and
they do. You know what I would have loved to see though, because it's not in the Princess of Power vintage toy line. They really could have took the scene of Crystal Castle from the Filmation cartoon with the swirling, electricity. Where she's like, that would have been amazing, right? For this card back. But it still looks great. But what I wanted to ask you is, do you want to zoom in on that little foil logo that's at the top? Does that say like She-Ra 40th anniversary?
It does. Yes.
That is incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because I love when they did that design for Motu. I think it just added that little extra something to the card backs, which was cool. But I do want to actually zoom in, because you can see a bunch of characters down here in the mini comic, and there is yourself in the mini comic, the sorceress. And I was like, wait, why is the sorceress in here?
That is amazing. I mean, we have to get her in cartoon collection form. She's not the same. She's gonna look a little different. I can't wait, for her to release that. But one thing I was gonna say, I think the reason the card back is like this too is because it's like a nice transition. From the He-Man's world to She-Ra's world, and maybe they'll go full bore, Princess of Power like a card back later, and it's kind of like Hordak's like entering into the universe, right? Because he's peeking in with all that brimstone.
Look at you. Very creative.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, and it also looks like there's like plumes of smoke coming out of the Castle Grayskull.
No. It's like on fire or something. I hope we get a hero in Turtles of Grayskull. Don't even joke about that, Black Penis. We need a hero in the original Origins line first, and then they can do whatever they want with hero.
That's hilarious. I think he was probably just trying to get you to sing the song.
Okay, here you go.
Okay.
We need a hero. All right, that's all you're getting.
You got to pay for the rest now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But here's the confirmation of the wave, and it's funny because Roy Juarez revealed like 3 sketches of card art, which just had Octavia and Horde Trooper on it, so we didn't really see what they were doing, and so we have She-Ra and Seahawk, of all people.
Seahawk and not Bo.
No, wait, where's Bo?
Where the heck is Bo? Seahawk's great. I love Seahawk. I would be super happy to get Seahawk in the cartoon collection line, but let's get Bo first.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. So this is, I guess, so it's funny that they've called out a episode where this comes from, Treasure of the First, but like, of the first ones, doesn't She-Ra look like this all the time? But maybe it's maybe Octavia is in that one, and maybe that's why they've called it out. And I really hope that they make her, because she was made in the classics line, and it's such a cool, like, octopus looking woman figure.
And do you see what She-Ra and Seahawk are standing in front of?
Is that Crystal Castle?
Yeah, but in toy form, because it's the pink Crystal Castle, because it does not look like that in the cartoon series. It is the gold, lacy looking, famous castle that she's holding her sword up to. Right. That is the vintage Crystal Castle playset, right? Which is awesome. I mean, go ahead, Mattel. Make it for us. I'm so happy.
Yes, that would be awesome. And then if anyone is not familiar with Octavia, she is a member of the Horde. So it's another Horde member, but she was a very cool, like, octopus looking female figure that had tentacles. And I guess where the inspiration from this digital render came from, this is from Eternal Customs. And oh yes, there are shadows in this digital render too. Okay, I'm good now. There's digital renders all around. We have we have her coming with 4 swords, and that's what her classics figure came with. So this is just like a inspiration for what this could look like in Origins form.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that would be amazing if they do make her with, because she's got the added. We haven't gotten like a 4-armed character. We got 4 legs, with Mantenna, but we've never gotten 4 arms. So that's going to be really interesting to see if they do make a figure out of her.
Yeah, because that would be a totally brand new design with, like, you'd have to have 4 posts in the back for the tentacles to strap to too.
Yeah.
So
and she's a female buck, so it's a lot skinnier, and there's a less real estate, like room to put the pegs in for all of these arms. So it would be very interesting to see how they do this.
Totally. And Nuno Biz, yes, definitely the eyeliner totally makes the figure. And then the Horde Trooper is on here, and I think the upper body represents what the Filmation version of the Horde Trooper would look like. Not much the lower body, but I was trying to think of, like, what would a Horde Trooper look like, and this is probably it. It's a very dumbed down piece of armor without any like intricate,
all that detail. And then the bat is like much smaller, right? Because it doesn't have the circular design. Because that's where the button is, where the Horde Trooper falls open, right?
Yeah.
So it looks much more simplified.
Yes. And then Hunter Knight Customs made this amazing Motu Origin Seahawk. I was like, holy crap. If Mattel's version, if they're making one, comes out looking like this, I would be super happy.
Oh my god, I would be over the moon if Seahawk came out looking like this. And as a matter of fact, the same customizer, Hunter Knight Customs, made that version of Bo that we use for our article as well, as a stand-in to see what he would look like. And which you did an amazing job on Bo as well.
Yeah.
So Mattel, get your cues.
I love it. Yeah. So that takes care of She-Ra's card art, and it looks like Roy and team, they are releasing a 360-degree view of this wave every day. So this started 2 days. Yesterday? Yes, I get the days mixed up. Started yesterday, and then we had Mantenna.
Mantenna this morning. Yes. And Shadow Weaver is teased on there, and she looks really cool too. So in terms of the custom version that we have of her, but love Mantenna's card art, and that's from A Loss for Words. And of course, Mantenna's standing on that grate, just looking down like, please don't hit that button. Please don't send me down in the dungeon.
It's funny. Like, he provided so much comic relief in the Princess of Power Filmation series. Like, he's such a great figure. it would be awesome for them to make Shadow Weaver just because they didn't have one in the vintage line. It's like she was such an integral part of the series. I just don't know why they didn't make her.
Yeah. And I would love to see Shadow Weaver with actual like legs and then just like a soft plastic like dress around them. So it's not like just like a like a little molded bottom half. Yeah.
Yeah. So super exciting. And then so they basically have the card back showing that little action feature with the popping out eyes, which is awesome.
So Will is asking that I guess they are going to pop out, and it looks like there's probably a small button on the back of his head. So there you go. And my apologies because I was out when this card out got released this morning, so I absolutely did not get to look at it right now.
Don't worry. We have a bazillion things to do during the day, and this is one of them. So
I've
done the same.
It's great. It's great that they included this feature. I'm happy.
Yes, no, totally. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Ram Man's card art coming out tomorrow too. So,
oh my god, yeah, he's gonna. I love that version of Ram Man. He looks so cute, like the bumbling, silly Ram Man from the cartoon with that facial expression. He's just adorable.
Yes. Let's see. We'll go through these next ones pretty quick. So Small Tiny Toy Store again. Oh, what's so funny?
I know, Neil. What she got under there? I don't know.
Oh boy.
Toy Sources is an insider. No, I have good intuition. I don't know anything.
Well, that's why they call it the sorceress. Come on. So the Small Tiny Toy Store again puts up Modulock for pre-order. So Modulock, according to one of the Mattel reps in the booth, Modulock is going to be an Amazon exclusive and not a Mattel Creations exclusive. So it makes sense that the rest of the world will get a version of Modulock to release. So that went up for pre-order.
It's hard to see what's the price point on Modulock there.
$0.
I know it's in Europe.
It's
$0. Okay.
I just didn't have one. I don't know. Okay, I think maybe it's
funny because you can gauge the other figures said like $23.99, so it's kind of equivalent to our $20.99 here in the US. Yeah. So I was curious because it would have given us an idea how much they're going to price him here.
Yeah. So I don't know. Free Modulocks for everyone.
Hey, Brian, free Modulocks for everyone. In the words of Oprah, you get a Modulock and you get a Modulock and you get a Modulock. Everybody gets a Modulock.
Totally. So don't know when Modulock will come. It says coming in 2025, which is probably just like I'm sure that this store doesn't know when he's coming. But we got to look out on Amazon for this one because sometimes we find these listings before they actually go up for sale. So I'll be doing a lot of digging on Amazon.
Yep.
All right.
That's going to be an amazing one.
Yes. And then last Masters figures before we get to the Silverhawks is the Demo Man is coming up for pre-order Wednesday, September 25th on Mattel Creations. So the Motu team has given us some love in September with Demo Man.
Absolutely. So that's going to be exciting. And hopefully he should be pretty easy to get. I think all of the Mattel Creations have been fairly easy within the first half hour to hour, so they're not selling out within the minute. So you guys should be okay getting them. I know there's always FOMO and anxiety when you're trying to check out and you're seeing the little blue bar, you're in line. But it should be easy enough, I think, to get these, and he's going to be really cool. So
I hope so. Yeah, and also too, some of these figures don't appeal to everybody, and so maybe that cuts down on the.
So I don't think I'm going to be ordering him just because I don't have attachment to him, any nostalgic attachment. So there you go. There's an extra one for someone out there to order. But I'm starting to run out of room for my Origins figures, so I'm trying to now be a little bit more selective.
Yeah. Yes, we need to practice some restraint over here. But I haven't seen a Creations, like a Motu figure, go up this late in the month before. Usually they're up earlier in the month, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit for the official images on this one. But we know what it looks like. He's been revealed on a live stream before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so Baroness is gonna skip it too. So there you got two of them, more for everybody. But the week before, which on the 13th is going to be Hasbro PulseCon. So maybe that's why they were trying not to compete with.
Oh, that's a good point. So yes, All Music Fan makes a good point. He comes with the Alcala Skeletor head, so it's a must-have. So all right, must-have for you, not for the toy sorcerers.
Exactly. And so Will passed on Lord Graspin Terror, which is fine. And I may pass on the other. What's this guy's name again? I forget.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to skip him too. See, I didn't have a connection to him either, so his name slipped my mind. So there'll be an extra one for everybody as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to get Geldor either. I have him in classics, but he came with a collection, but I wouldn't buy him just as a one-off figure.
Yeah. His body, he's a little plain, I guess, to me. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Again, not nostalgic for that character. So, oh, but Demon Man, dang, he does come with an Alcala Skeletor head, but is it articulated? The extra head there, does it have articulated jaw? It does.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Damn, I might have to get it just for the head and then sell it.
Scratch that.
Now I gotta look that up.
That's funny.
I might take that back. I've got an extra Skeletor figure here that I have this amazing custom vintage head on him. He's just on my desk, so I can always put the Alcala head. This was by a very talented customizer, but it is like an Origins head in the vintage style. So I can always get that other one and put the Alcala head on him.
Nice.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Awesome. All right. So that was the barrage of Motu news. So look out for Ram Man's card art and 360 view coming tomorrow, because that would finish out Wave 21. And some amazing Super 7 Silverhawks news dropped today, Miss Toy Sorceress, that we are super excited about.
I am stoked. So shout out to the Baroness of Toys that I had a busy day yesterday, gave me a heads up on that tease that came out from Super 7, and you can see Bluegrass's like scarf and upper part of his body and his little green Silverhawks logo, which, if only came on tampoed on the vintage figures. So obviously I'm like, well, it's got to be the back metal version, and you can see it was kind of shiny in that tease we got yesterday. And of course, like, if they're doing a Bluegrass, they're going to have to do Steel Will, because these are the last of the four main Silverhawks to be released. Didn't realize that they're going to do toy variants of Windhammer and Molecular. So that's really cool. What do you think?
That is cool. No, I like the vac metal that they do on these Silverhawks looks so fantastic, and I wish that they would have just done these versus the other ones. But I think they had to fund these before they started doing the vac metal. But they look fantastic. Like, the colors look great. Super excited about them.
They actually nailed the colors on these. I love the back metal version of Quicksilver, and like the only criticism, if it's small, that I had was that he was more chrome color rather than silver. I wish it was a lighter color back metal. Besides that, he looks amazing, because then Steelheart was a very light, like purple color. So like they could have done a light silver on him. But anyway, he looks incredible. These guys, like, I love Bluegrass. Like, I love his little cowboy hat and everything. And I do have the vintage version of both of these figures, the back metal version. So I can't wait to get these. I may skip, Windhammer and Molecular, because I do have the first version of those. But they look awesome. Like, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, and maybe you can answer this question if it's not going to bring up.
Okay, so My Quicksilver has bungee jumped off my shelf multiple times. I don't know why. The vac metal itself doesn't quite chip. The only place I would say it might chip a little is on the inside of the joint, and that's a given because the inside of the joints is a harder plastic, and so the vac metal doesn't stick to that. But it's inside the joint, and you're not going to see it. I'm not talking about the elbow joint, but like where the pegs are, right? That's a harder plastic, and the vac metal doesn't quite stick to it. That's the only place it would chip a little. What does chip, however, if your figure falls, which is a very painful subject for me, the paint chips, because it's vac metal and they painted over the vac metal. So I've got my poor Quicksilver took a nosedive off my shelf several times. He chipped on his arm, but then his face completely, like the paint, like totally like shattered off the sides of his face sculpt. I had to put his other head where it's got just the closed mask on him right now. And I have another one ordered because he's sold out everywhere. BBTS has them for pre-order, but still haven't released it. I'm gonna have to like swap out or sell that other figure. So the paint chips. It's not too much of a problem with the actual vac metal. It's if the poor figure falls, the paint is going to chip off because it's attached to vac metal.
And I think that is the same with maybe a lot of other figures that might not be vac metal. Like if something falls off of a shelf, it definitely has the possibility of chipping. But maybe for the vac metal has a better chance.
Absolutely. And even with the vintage figures, if you take a look at the vintage figures, those were also all vac metal as well with paint on top of them. So a lot of the times, because these weren't too stable, they tended to tip over, and they're smaller figures, right? So if you take a look on eBay at the vintage Silverhawks figures, a lot of them have chipped noses because they would fall on the shelf, and then the nose paint would like just chip off. So they all have like little Rudolph noses or whatever.
Yeah, and then you got to pay through the nose if you don't want to chip one because sellers know that.
Yep.
They're all chipped, and they're like, oh, I don't have one that's chipped. Pay $50 more, and I'm like, no.
Exactly, you're paying for that extra little drop of paint.
Yes, maybe I can have you touch up some.
Actually, I did touch up my Quicksilver because he had a small chip on his nose. And that, it's just a peach color, and I am actually really good at paint matching, and you can't even see it anymore.
Oh, yeah, you are good at paint matching. Like that's something.
Get one that has a chip in it for cheaper. Bring it with you the next time you visit me, and I will absolutely touch that up for you.
Okay, I want to see the magic work live.
That's cool. I'll show you it, and I probably do have before and after photos of my my Quicksilver. Actually, I do have pictures of it on one of our reviews that I did. When I did Quicksilver, he had the little chip on the nose, and then when you see it at my house, you'll see that he looks pristine. So
that's cool. Yeah. So this whole wave it's a repaint wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think one of my, I don't know, I would love just I like the repaints, especially these, but I would love them intermixed with other figures that we could get. So I'm not a fan of the all repaint waves, and so I think they had that with that G.I. Joe, like the 3 lady wave that ended up getting canceled. And I was like, they had that cool Baroness in it, and I wanted that Baroness.
And I wanted that blue Baroness. She was so cool. So hopefully like this wave does well. You know what? This is the Skeletor that kept bungee jumping off the shelf, and that's why he's on my desk now.
That's hilarious.
He got relegated to down here at my computer because he kept jumping off the top shelf. I had him next to my 40th anniversary Masterverse box set with He-Man and Skeletor there, and because I've got a vintage He-Man up there, and I'm like, oh, vintage Skeletor head, and he kept falling off. So now you're down here where it's safe.
Yes. Very cool. So cool wave. So it looks like probably just the vac metal Silverhawks are probably the best bets in this wave. And I do have a Warhammer, and I'm like, I don't need another Warhammer.
I don't need another one either, but for anybody who doesn't have any of the Silverhawks or is contemplating getting these, the vac metal ones are gorgeous. I would just suggest put them somewhere on display where they're not close to the edge of a shelf. And if you have any kind of stand for their feet or something, maybe put a little, put them on a figure stand if you can. But they are incredible. They're absolutely gorgeous, absolutely worth every dollar. I know they're like $10 more expensive, but they are just so breathtaking. And they did such a great job on the face sculpts.
Yeah.
Like the paint applications on these have extra like shading and detail and just so much, like such a great look. I was so pleasantly surprised until mine freaking like shattered everywhere. Like the sides of Quicksilver's face like chipped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it broke my heart.
But it looks like Carnage is doing the same as you, Mike. The two Silverhawks don't need the toy versions of the other two. Yes. So
yeah. No, I totally agree. I hope that this way, does well. The Baroness of Toy says she really wanted that blue Baroness. Brian Flynn, please make her. Maybe they have some numbers and maybe the Baroness did well. Maybe they can just put her back in another wave, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the one I had pre-ordered also. So
the antique fair is coming up, and if I run into Brian, I'll ask him if the blue Baroness could ever be back on the table. So maybe we'll circle back.
Absolutely, you should. But these are amazing. Like if you're a Silverhawks fan, you gotta get these back metal ones. They're just stunning. I have no other words for it, but they are stunning.
Question from Justin: do you think Super 7 will do more of these figures at the deluxe price point? Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't see why not. I mean,
I'm sure we'll probably get a vac metal Copperhead eventually as well. And probably Hot Wing. Who knows?
Oh yes, Hot Wing. I was trying to think of like hot something.
He actually looks great. Like in his like cartoon version, he's got like this extra shine and sheen to him. And with the extra like kind of flamey paint apps, they did just such a great job on that one.
No. Carnage is just going to customize the Blue Baroness. Please do, because we would love to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
That'd be awesome. All right. Anything else to cover off on the Silverhawks?
No, I mean these look wonderful. I'm just so excited. I hope that they made that music effect a little bit lighter or something, because I can't even put it on the figure. It tips right over. So tip for Brian Flynn, if you can make that on a much like lighter plastic or something or the connection that's on the end of the guitar, maybe a little bit more robust.
Well, actually, you make a good point, because if it's any figure that you don't want falling over because it's unstable, you don't want that accessory on it, because that vac metal will chip, right?
And it looks so cool when you put the music notes on it, but then he just falls right over.
Yes. If you do buy these, please go through the website. We have links that the toy sorceress scoured and worked her little hiney off trying to get on the site. So if you do, just go through our site and buy them. We would really appreciate it. If you
Every time like I look at these, I just have the theme song running through my head. Like I just love it.
That is awesome. So cool.
That was the best part of the cartoon.
Yeah. I need to watch that again, because like does it hold up or not?
I mean, like the rest of them, like they're a little cheesy or whatever, but just like hearing the theme song is what gets you all jazzed, and then you want to go look at your figures. It's just
that's true.
The theme song rocks,
Yeah. The theme songs are great. Like whoever made those up are awesome. Let's see. I have a 3-day weekend. Are you also off on Monday too?
Absolutely.
Hey.
See, I get the extra day today because it's what they call Admin's Day that they give like for the district and like the schools. So I get to take the day off.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to this weekend, and maybe I'll head up to that Pot of Gold store. Actually, that vintage store near me is still their store is still 25% off for the month of August, and August ends tomorrow. So like,
if you find a tiger rat complete, let me know.
I will. Yes, I've been looking high and low for that one. So I definitely.
I that should be like my like little gift to myself for my promotion. I'm like,
oh my gosh, it totally should. Like, you should get the whole like Tiger Force vehicle series for that. Like, come on.
I would love that. I thought to myself, because I have not pre-ordered the or back the Rattler HasLab yet, because it's so big. And I'm like, I really just don't have anywhere to put that thing. And I'm like, do I spend the money, the $250 some odd or whatever on that ginormous, it's very cool HasLab Rattler, or do I spend it on getting a vintage, really beautiful tiger rat? And I think I'm leaning towards the tiger rat at this point. I'm not going to take up as much room.
In fairness, I'm going to actually correct you on this one, because admissions day is actually September 9th. It's my birthday, so it is not today.
Okay. But that's what my district calls the holiday, admissions day, which maybe for LA, for our school district, that's what they dubbed it, but it's always been called admissions day.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That is the one thing that I share with California, is when I was born, that's when they became legally a state.
That's awesome. that is actually really cool. I did not know that's what it was for, but I guess the district decided to group it in with Labor Day, so that we always have this longer weekend. And it's typically the weekend I go on my summer vacations, but because we did this amazing SDCC trip, no summer vacation this year. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, then I'm sorry.
It would usually have been like a Tahoe trip for me.
Giraffe, smash that like button like Mike Mattel smashes our wallet, and Justin wishes you congrats on the promo. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Justin. You are so sweet. And thank you all for just being such an amazing crew, all your support, tuning into us every week, listening to our shenanigans, and just, contributing and having such a great time. We have the best crew and chat in the world. You guys are just awesome. You rock. And you make it so much fun to do this every week for you. So
it is.
Love it.
Yes,
so
and
we should be back next Friday, hopefully.
Yeah. So I think I'm in state for a bit. So we're trying to figure out when to go see Blake up in Reno again for one of his marching band performances. So, but not next week. Next week. Go ahead, please. I was going to say Miss Tidbits and Twine is heading up to Vegas with her friends this coming week. So I'm flying solo with my daughter, and we'll have a good time.
That'll be awesome. What I was going to say is next week we are going to have an after party live stream with our junkies and addicts. So if you're a junkie and addict in our crew, you're going to have a private live stream with us, and we'll be discussing a special topic, which we'll reveal to you shortly before that live stream happens. So, and we want the chat to be interactive on that one, because we love to hear your opinion. So get ready for that next week.
Yay. Awesome. Anything else to cover off on before we close on this beautiful Friday evening?
No, I've just got some fun stuff to open. I got Sarge. I got
dang.
And I still have my Stinger sitting here on the floor, which I have not opened yet. I gotta find a parking spot for that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff on the floor. It's a mess. Chad got to see the mess on the floor. I'm not showing that off to anyone else.
No. You absolutely keep that to yourself.
Yes. Well,
the camera only sees this much. I'm wearing pajama pants under this, so there you go.
Yeah,
you guys just heard a secret, because I got out of the pool and jumped in the shower, and I'm like, I'm just getting comfortable.
Got to be comfy on this Friday night, which is
awesome.
They're
probably doing that on our newscast too. Like, you can't see him from the waist down, so.
Totally. Yeah, I just keep my background good, and then like everywhere else in the room is disarray.
That's the ticket. That's the trick. All right, everybody. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week for some more Toy Habits Live, and always keep it on watch to toyhabits.com and our Toy Habits website, Instagram page for all the latest news. Take a look at our Toy Habits YouTube community page as well. Every time we post something on our website, we notify you through there too. So until then, we'll see you guys all next week.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.